Good morning, Veritas All-Stars. This is the All-Star lesson for Monday, April 13th, 2020. So we'll get right into it. This is something we've never learned in school. I haven't taught you this yet, so this is something that might be brand new to you. So I recommend you draw the model like I am going to show you and work through it as best as you can. All right, so we'll have problems that are similar to this moving forward because this is kind of the first one of this type. All right, so here we go. So if you look at the assignments for Monday, April 13th, 2020, this will be at the bottom. It's called the All-Star Challenge problem. Okay, so I gave you a little key up here, and they will give you this on MCAS. It says 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So before we can answer how many pints are in a gallon, because it doesn't tell you that here, you have to do some math. How many cups are in a gallon? It doesn't tell you that. It only tells you how many quarts there are. And how many quarts are in 3.5 gallons? It doesn't exactly tell you that, but it gives you the information that you need to do the math to solve these problems. Okay, so first one is how many pints are in 1 gallon. So first I'm going to draw a model using this information. Okay, so we'll start with a gallon. So I'm going to draw a model of a gallon. This whole thing is 1 gallon. Okay, we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces because there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So each of these fourths is a quart. Quart, 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 quart. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. It's a quarter of a gallon, quart. So if 4 quarts makes a gallon, we got our drawing here. These are all quarts. I'm not going to put quart in all of them because we're going to cut them in a second. Then it says 2 pints makes 1 quart. So I'm going to take this quart here. I'll put an arrow here to show you it's a quart. It's saying that quart, 1 quart is 2 pints. So let's cut this quart. Let's see, what marker can I use? I'll use a marker here. How about a blue-green? So this quart is 2 pints, because 2 pints makes 1 quart. So that means that this is a pint, and it means that this is a pint. Okay. So far we have 1 gallon is 4 quarts. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 2 pints in 1 quart. So we took this quart here and we cut it into 2 pints. Now it says there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So each of these would have 2 cups in them. So let's do it up here again. We'll do it here. If this is a pint, right? This much is a pint. That means this much here is a pint. So it's saying that pint is actually 2 cups. So here's a cup, and here's a cup to make up that pint. So if we cut this pint, we have 2 cups in this pint, right? We could cut this into 2 cups and into 2 cups. Okay, so we got all this information. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So this big one here, again, is a quart. And then it says 1 quart is 2 pints, so we cut this quart here, this big quart here, this one, we cut that into 2 pints. Then we took one of those pints and cut it into 2 cups, and we kind of did that up here, to cut the pint into 2 cups. Now it says how many pints are in 1 gallon. So if there's 2 pints in each quart, that means there's 2 in this quart, 3, 4 in this, 5, 6, 7, there are 8 pints in a gallon. Okay, so we're basically taking these quarts. If each quart is 2 pints, then there's 2, 4, 6, 8 pints in a gallon. So the answer for number 1, how many pints are in 1 gallon? 8 pints is the answer to that. Okay. Pretty good. 4 quarts times 2 pints in each quart will be 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so there's part A. We're going to use the same model to do part B. How many cups are in a gallon? So now we're going to take that, and if there's 2 cups in every pint, we can just do 8 times 2, because 8 pints times 2 cups per pint, the answer is going to be 16 cups. We just did the 8 pints times 2 cups for every pint. 8 times 2 is 16 cups, but I'll show you using the model. If this pint was 2 cups and this pint was 2 cups, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cups in every quart. So there's 4 in this quart, 4 more makes 8, 4 more makes 12, and 4 more makes 16. Or 4 cups times 4 quarts is 16 cups in a gallon. So our answer here was 16, okay? Or 2 cups times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times 4 quarts is 16. Okay, 2 cups for every pint, so for 2 pints, there's 2 times 2 is 4. And if 2 pints make a quart, then that would be the 4 cups times these 4 quarts, just like we did over here. There's 4 cups in every quart, times 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. 4 times 4 makes 16 cups. Okay, and part C, how many quarts are in 3.5 gallons? So there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon, so 3.5 gallons will be 3.5 times 4 quarts per gallon. So we're going to do 3.5 times 4. And in the regular video this morning, the first video that you had linked for April 13th, we did a little bit of this. We're doing 3.5 times 4. So you could do 3.5 and add it together, because multiplication is repeated addition. We could add it together 4 times. So we're doing 3.5, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we add those together 4 times, we're going to get the right answer. And then I'll show you how to do it using multiplication. 3, 6, 9, 12. We just added all the whole numbers. 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves. We have 4 halves. So now we have 12 plus 4 halves. 4 halves is really 4 divided by 2. So 4 halves is actually 2. So we have 12 plus 2, because 4 divided by 2, this is 4 halves, is 4 divided by 2, which is, what number times 2 gets you to 4? The answer is 2. So 12 plus this is 2. If we had 4 halves, we really have 2 wholes, right? If this is 2 wholes, if we cut them each in half, there's 1 half, there's 2 halves, there's 3 halves, there's 4 halves. So 4 halves is actually 1 whole, 2 wholes. Okay, so 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, so 3.5 times 4 is 14 quarts. So the answer here is 14. There are 14 quarts in 3.5 gallons. Okay? Let's do that one more time. 3.5 times 4, we could do 4 times 3 is 12. But then we have to do 4 times a half also. You're doing 4 times 3 plus a half. So you do 4 times 3 is 12. Then you add 4 times 1 half is 4 halves, which again we said earlier, 12 plus 4 halves. 4 halves is equal to 2. So 12 plus 2 is 14. And there are 14 quarts in 3.5 gallons. Give yourself some snaps. Those were pretty tricky today. We haven't seen anything like that. But you'll notice I took this and put it into a model, and that really helped me be able to count out how many cups there were in the whole gallon and how many pints there were in the whole gallon. Okay, so use a model, take your time. Good job if you got those right. Okay, last one, number 2. This time we're multiplying a mixed number times a mixed number. So this is tricky because a lot of times kids forget to multiply some of them. So we have to do 6 times 4 and 6 times 3/8. Then we got to do 2/3 times 4 and 2/3 times 3/8. So what happens a lot when you do these is some kids miss to multiply at least 1 or 2 of them. So I'm going to show you a model that I use. It's an area model. We're basically going to cut this into 4 parts to make sure that we do those 4 operations. 6 times 4 plus 6 times 3/8 Then we got to do 2/3 times 4 plus 2/3 times 3/8. So what we're going to do is 6 and 2/3, and we're multiplying that times 4 and 3/8. So to make sure that we do 6 times 4, that's going to be here. 6 times 4 is 24. Then you're going to do 2/3 times 4. 2/3 times 4 would be 8/3. 8 divided by 3 is 2 and 2/3. Okay, so all we did was 2/3 times 4. You can write 4 as a whole number with the denominator of 1 as a fraction. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. Then 8 divided by 3, if you did 8 divided by 3, 3 goes into 8 2 times without going over. 2 times 3 is 6. And we have a remainder of 2, which becomes the numerator. And the divisor, 3, becomes the denominator, which is 2 and 2/3. So we can just rename that as 2 and 2/3. So far we did 6 times 4, and we did 2/3 times 4. Okay, so we did 6 times 4, and we did 2/3 times 4. Now we got to do them both times 3/8. So we're going to do 6 times 3/8. So 6 times 3/8. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 8 is 8. So 6 times 3/8 is 18/8, which is 18 divided by 8. 8 goes into 18 2 times without going over. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm doing this quickly because you guys are the all-stars, but let me know if I should slow down and show you this. Just let me know in your assignment. 18 minus 16 is 2, so that becomes our numerator. 2. And the divisor here, the number we divided by, becomes our denominator. So it's 2 and 2/8. So this is 2 and 2/8. Last part, we got to do 2/3 times 3/8. So let's do that. 2/3 times 3/8, and that'll be the last part that we need to multiply. Okay? 2/3 times 3/8. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. We have 6 24ths here. Okay? So now that we did 6 times 4 and we did 6 times 3/8, then we did 2/3 times 4 and we did 2/3 times 3/8. We have to multiply them times both of those numbers. Each of them times both of those numbers. And then we're going to add up all these partial products. Okay, so we have 24. Let me make some space. We have 24 plus 2 and 2/8 plus 2 and 2/3 plus 6 24ths. Okay, so we have 24, 2 and 2/8, 2 and 2/3, and 6 24ths. And we're adding these 4 partial products up to get our final answer. So we can start by adding the whole numbers, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, plus now we got to add the fractions. So we already did those ones. Now we're just going to add 2/8 plus 2/3 plus 6 24ths. So 8 can go to 24, so we're going to make that into 24ths. 3 can go to 24, so we're going to make 2/3 into 24ths, and then they'll all be 24ths. So our answer will be in 24ths. So let's see. 3 times 8 got us to 24, so we need to multiply the numerator times 8 as well. 2 times 8 is 16 24ths. So since we multiplied 2/3 times 8/8, and 8/8 equals 1, that means 16 24ths and 2/3 are equivalent, because we just multiplied times 1, and that's the fraction we got. So now it has 24ths. 8 times 3 gets us to 24, so this numerator we have to also multiply times 3. That way we multiplied it times 3 over 3, which equals 1. So 8 times 3, 24. 2 times 3 is 6 24ths. So now we can add them up. 6 24ths plus 16 24ths would be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 24ths. Plus 6 more makes 28 24ths. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 16 is 28. And our denominator was 24. So we're almost done. 28 plus, this is more than 1. 28 divided by 24, 24 goes into 28 one time without going over. 1 times 24 was 24, so when we subtract, we have a numerator of 4 and a denominator of 24. So 28 plus 1 and 4 24ths is going to give us our final answer, which is 28 plus 1 makes 29 and 4 24ths. Okay, we're going to do some of these next week, but I wanted to give you a little preview of this. Now, 4 and 24 can both be divided. We can simplify by dividing both of these by the same number. Okay, so we still have 29 wholes. Our answer is still going to be 29. We're just simplifying this fractional part. So if we divide, 4 can be divided by 4, and 24 can be divided by 4. That way we really divided 4 24ths by 4 fourths, which equals 1. So we're not really changing it, we're just simplifying it. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 24 divided by 4 is 6. So our answer to this one is 29 and 1/6. So 6 2/3 times 4 3/8 is more complicated than it looks, and the answer is 29 and 1/6. Now I'm just going to kind of check. If I did just the whole number, 6 times 4 is 24, so then we're multiplying these fractions, so our number is going to be higher than 24. Because it's a little more than 6 times a little more than 4, our answer needs to be more than 24, which it is. So our answer is reasonable, 29 and 1/6. Now I know that this was hard because you had to multiply lots of different numbers. There are 4 different ones that we have to multiply. We need to make sure that we have 4 different partial products that we go and add. And this was really complicated. I think that you All-Stars should be pretty good to be able to understand most of this, even though I went quickly. So just let me know if I went too quick today. I understand if I did, and I will help you with that. All right. Have a great day. Thanks, All-Stars. Good work today. See you tomorrow.